Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. Forget technological change. To be competitive, tomorrow's enterprise must embrace continual technical and organizational innovation today. Change no longer has a static process to evolve in an economy empowered by successive transformation. Yesterday's technological change saw an introduction of individual new technologies. We are fighting for competitive advantage in a technological revolution, a period in which more new technologies are adopted almost all at the same time and are usually interconnected. An era of accelerated technological process characterized not only by new innovation, but also their application and diffusion. Greetings, everyone. It's Friday, July 19, 2013, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. Up to the Tech Talk, the challenge faced by your IT department to deal with continuous application change, successive transformation of continual technological and organizational innovation. Imagine a complete application delivery platform to develop, manage, and change enterprise web and mobile applications. One that combines high productivity and full application lifecycle capabilities. Now, consider the insights of Jeff Newlin, Vice President and General Manager, North America of OutSystems. OutSystems is a software company that offers a rapid application delivery platform designed to make building and maintaining enterprise web and mobile applications easy, enabling IT to deliver innovative business solutions fast. The company has over 36,000 installations across 22 industries in 24 countries and is supported by an active community of over 6,000 developers. Jeff joined OutSystems in 2011 as Vice President and General Manager of North America. In this role, he is responsible for the company's North American business, where he will drive continued growth and expand the organization. As a member of the executive team, he also plays an active role in the overall strategy of the company. Jeff brings over 20 years of experience in creating and continually evolving sales and service organizations, as well as strategic and tactical operational management. Most recently, he held the position of Senior Vice President, Global Sales and Chief Revenue Officer at Silverpop, a provider of SaaS solutions for engagement marketing. Prior to Silverpop, he held positions at Cybrant, Tenfold Corporation, Texas Instrument Software, and KnowledgeWare. Fighting for competitive advantage in tomorrow's technological revolution today, this Tech Talk may be the enlightened insights you need to discover the solution that will enable your IT department to master the challenges of continuous application change as we Tech Talk overcoming successive transformation of innovation with OutSystems North American Vice President and General Manager, Jeff Newlin. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Jeff, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi, Frank. It's nice to be with you today.
Okay, so I want to sell plumbing fixtures. That's all I want to do. But all of a sudden I got clouds and I got apps, and now all of a sudden I've got analytics, and they're talking about what's the latest thing, pattern detection, and I'm trying to figure out how do I just conduct a business and stay. Two things I care about is, how do I make money and how do you save me money? So let's talk a little bit about the environment that small to medium-sized enterprises have to operate in today in the face of the good parts about technology and some of the challenges.
Well, you hit it right away. Is that it's getting more and more difficult to understand the way that IT needs to help a business grow and evolve and meet the demands that they have in their industries. It's not so much that you have to get applications to meet the needs of the business, but you have to have applications that help the business innovate and differentiate and succeed, both from a cost savings and also to be.
But do they ever stand still enough to grab them and actually implement them before a new one comes up and I've got to change it? How does that work?
Yeah. Well, the problem you run into is that IT wants to move at a different pace than business moves. So business changes on cycles that sometimes are daily, weekly, quarterly. Seldom do they operate in time frames that are annual or multi-year. Of course, they have strategies that go that long. But if you look at a typical IT project, when business asks them to do something, IT is thinking in months, years, and sometimes in multi-year projects. And by the time they get around to providing the solution that the business needed to innovate, the need for that innovation has long since passed. So the challenge that IT organizations have is just keeping up with that pace of business, and that's what we're helping our customers do every day.
The concept, it's been around for a while, and that is, I'm a versatile generalist. What I used to be able to do in terms of IT was, provide a certain amount of support for my fellow employees, and they call me if I had a downtime and I needed some help with a computer or some kind of problem like that. Now you've got me sitting in a boardroom, literally contributing to the conversation, contributing to the discussion in terms of where the business is going. I can't possibly keep up with everything. Is that part of what a good CTO, CIO looks for, is a kind of a partner, a vendor partner, that you take care of that and you keep studying my business and focused on the technology so that I can somewhat depend on you to come to me? I guess the question is, what comes chicken and egg? What comes first? Do you bring the app and then the innovation, or do you look for the innovation and go try to find an app?
Well, you should be looking for the innovation to go find the app. Sometimes the applications are so interesting in and of themselves that they prompt that innovation to occur. What we see more often or not, that the business knows what they need to do. They see trends in their industry. They see competitive maneuvers that are happening. They see the need to take an action that's going to help them differentiate themselves from the competition. Make more money, lower their costs, win business they wouldn't win otherwise. And if a CTO, if a CIO is a partner to the business, they're in tune with what's going on, and they're out there ahead of or right in pace with what business is doing, and they're finding ways to react and change. So if you're just looking if the app is so ready that you can just buy it and use it, anybody can buy it and use it. So to get those true innovative and differentiating business capabilities, you need to build applications specific to that business need. The more general the application is, the more general the differentiation or the innovation will be. And by definition, that wouldn't make it very innovative or differentiating, would it?
Well, let's talk about that, though. There's innovation doesn't have there's risk involved in innovation. There's no 100%. I guess what you're saying, if it's pervasive, then a lot of people are using it. You don't get that edge. So therefore, I'm looking for something that is maybe a little bit proof of concept, but hasn't 100%. Not its capability to be functionality, but its impact on the decision that I'm making, that it's going to have some form of impact on my business. Can you identify drivers of business innovation versus people that are followers of it?
You can. And
what would be some of the examples that you work with in cases that when you talk about drivers of business innovation?
Well, if I could step it up just a little bit from that, there's a concept that we've been reviewing and watching with the Gartner Group, and it's something they call the pace layering architecture. And what that means is businesses evolve at a different pace based on the different needs that they have. They innovate, they differentiate, and then they have standard systems of record that just keep the doors open every day. When it comes to that innovation layer, which you're talking about, that's where a lot of the risk does occur. And it's not so much in risk in that the business is going to fail or succeed based upon it, but it's the risk in that they don't know exactly how it's going to work, or if it's going to work. And when you approach that from a systems or an applications perspective, it's very difficult to approach businesses when they say, hey, I've got an application that we need to develop because we would like to see if ABC works within our industry. And IT says, great, tell us exactly what you need. And the business says, I don't know exactly what I need. I've got some ideas. So help me put those ideas into an application so I can go put it into practice. And I'll come back and let you know in a couple of days or a week, maybe a month. I'll let you know if what we're doing actually makes sense. And IT tends to say, well, no, I don't operate in cycles like that. So the risk really is IT says, well, that's really risky, that's expensive. If you can't tell me what you want, I can't build it. And if I do build what you want, then you want to change it the next month, then you're going to be kind of, driving me crazy in how I need to serve the business.
I see windows opening up all over Atlanta with people screaming, "I get fed up and I can't take it anymore."
Well, there's a little bit of that, and that's one of the, IT for several years has been losing, their stature within the organization, and so much of you kicked off our call talking about plumbing and clouds and all of those things. Well, the infrastructure of IT is moving outside of the data center, the traditional way that they manage applications in house. It is moving to the cloud. It is moving to third-party premises. And so, what is the real role of IT? So, if IT is not keeping the lights on, they're not keeping the plumbing going, they're not responsible for the patches and the updates to each piece of software that comes in, then they're kind of left with what they really need to be doing anyway, which is helping the business do what they need to do to succeed in the industry and the space that they're in.
Do you look for that kind of chemistry when you come onto a prospect or a new client, or do you evangelize it and help create it if it isn't there?
Well, you're always looking for that prospect that walks in and behaves like our customers do, which is, they know they need to change. They know they can because they've been using our technology. So we're looking for innovative IT organizations.
How do you get the equal, on both sides, the traditional business acumen based on the circumstances that you're describing as far as innovation and IT?
Well, we have a different way we translate, if you will, the acumen of business to what IT wants to hear. So the business is talking about things they need and ways that they need to succeed, and what IT is wanting to do is then translate that into lines of code, database calls, ways they're going to build user interface. And with a technology like OutSystems platform, what our customers do is, as the business is describing what they need, you're able to use our product and interact directly with the business. So you're showing them diagrams of a business process. You're showing them diagrams of how their data exists. You're real-time prototyping with them what the user experience is going to look like. And as you're translating that and describing that to the business, they're seeing real time how the application is going to work and behave. So in a matter of a couple of weeks, we work in an agile method, most of our customers do. In a couple of weeks, they're building, you're viewing and seeing an application that is doing the business function that needs to be done. And our platform then takes it so quickly to the next level is that you're then not having to go write the code to make the prototype work. The application and the prototype are the exact same thing. And that's how the business can see what the application is going to do much sooner.
Wow.
And the sooner they see it, they know what they really need.
I think
true requirements come out of use, not out of sitting in a room for 6 months and describing to the business analyst what it is you want.
Seeing is believing. There's no two ways about it, especially when you're coming with the numbers people. Well, let's talk a little about, you conceptualize that, visualize it for us. We're talking in terms of words now, but talk a little bit about, let's say, an example of an encounter. Just picked up a new client. What would be the evolution of the relationship as it relates to what you do and what you provide to your customers?
So with our customers, as they get started, they're going to begin with us, and almost always they have an application in mind when they start. They've got a real business problem they need to solve. They have a time frame in which it needs to be solved, and there's a sense of urgency typically when we start to work with them. So it really begins. You'll all go through that. They learn how the product works because it's a new tool for them. So they'll begin to interact with the business, and they'll go through various sessions with the business to understand what it is, the goals, what's of the application, what does it need to accomplish, what are the high level business processes, what are the high level things from the data that they work with. So not anything that's revolutionary to how you need to describe what an application does, and then you start to describe how you're going to interact with it. And through that, how I'm going to interact with it, and seeing the user experience, seeing the web pages being built, seeing the mobile pages being built real time, starts to bring that application to life. And so with a high level set of these requirements that usually takes a couple of days with the business to understand, using our product, our customers, IT, go off with a small team, and they return within a week or 2 weeks, and they have a working application that is representative of what was described to them. as that process started. And that's really how the evolution works. You build something for a couple of weeks, you present it back to the business, you get guidance, you get change, you go back a couple of weeks, you present it again, and within a matter of 4 to 6 weeks, you really have an application starting to evolve. One of our customers up in the Boston area is Charles River Labs, and they went through that exact experience. And they started a project off in November of 2011. And mission-critical business, that process had to be automated, highly manual. They were losing market share in this part of their business. They had stubbed their toe a few times trying to go off with various different ways to implement it. And they started to work with us, both from a service and from a technology perspective. And within a month, they had the core essence of what the application needed to be that they wanted to take to market. And then over a period of 9 months and multiple different approaches to the product, they delivered to their business the applications they needed in order to innovate and differentiate within their industry. They were able to deliver it in 5 different languages. They were able to completely change the manual workflow for a core process within their organization. And they're now winning business that they were losing previously to their competition, and they're retaining customers that they were losing to their competition. And it's not all because of our product. It's because they were able to incorporate our product into the way that they're responding to business's demand, and to do so in a time frame that the business requirements were still fresh by the time the application was delivered. And it's meeting the needs of the business. And we're now on to our second large project with them, interacting with their IT team, delivering another application for their business.
Now, dealing with that general model, though, do I have to be worried about unconsidered cost drivers? I mean, as you progressively go through the methodology that you're describing, does that little 4-letter word pop up and all of a sudden I see increases? I mean, how do you set up budgets and how do you manage them across that kind of innovative approach?
Well, it depends on how the budget's being done, right, with a third-party consultancy delivering those services, or an internal budget that IT is using. So you've got to be you move into these types of activities without having all the numbers in place. From a budgeting perspective, you generally know what you're going to do. When we interact with our customers as a solutions provider, doing the services along with our technology, we've got a very specific way that we approach the costing and budgeting. We delivered well over 1,000 applications over the 12 years we've been in business. So our ability to cost out a project and understand what it's going to be is very concise in our world. So we can tell our customers what it's going to cost and deliver on it. So the real thing is it's not so much the cost drivers of building the application, which are real. We bend that curve quite a bit just with our product. But it's all the things that creep into an application. We call them the non-functional requirements that tend to bog down a project and put it behind. Things such as, what do I do with when it comes to security? What do I do if there's a major change in the application halfway through? What do I do if this application needs to scale beyond the user environment that we thought it would be? What happens if there's a lot of complexity in the integrations that we didn't count on? Because of the way our product allows IT to approach the application differently, these non-functional requirements, which really bog down and create expense in projects, are taken care of almost in total with our application.
I really don't know how anybody goes it alone anymore, and certainly when you've got the kind of background and experience, literally the success track record, builds a level of trust, because obviously that's one of the key words. That's anything like what we're talking about gets down to the bottom line. Before I can move forward, I've got to know and believe and understand that obviously what you're saying is exactly what's going to happen. And certainly that's been, I think, one of the images that come instantly to mind when anybody thinks about OutSystems as far as the reputation is concerned. What an exciting place to be, an exciting time to be doing what you're doing, Jeff. I know you're tied up. I know you're busy. You're the VP and General Manager of North America. That's not any small area with all the opportunities that lie in between those locations. But that said, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to join us today on Tech Talk.
I appreciate it, Frank. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.